Hi everyone, this is Jojo from Editing Land. Thanks for tuning into another episode of Pirouettes and Perspectives. This upcoming episode you're about to watch has been my favorite to do so far. It's with Caleb Olenek, who is a trainee at Charlotte Ballet. I love Caleb so much. He's just so funny and genuinely very well spoken. But I do want to warn you ahead of time. Caleb does have a little bit of a potty mouth. I do too at times. So if you're watching with kids or, get uncomfortable with potty mouth at times, just wanted to warn you ahead. But with that being said, please enjoy episode 3 of Pirouettes and Perspectives with your guest, Caleb Olenek. Alright, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Pirouettes and Perspectives. Today I am very excited to introduce to you today's guest for the episode, Caleb Olenek. What's up, Caleb? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man? How are you?
Doing great. This is a very special episode for me because Caleb is like one of my very first best friends who I had when I moved out to 17 at Ballet Mat. So I'm very excited to interview you.
All right, dude. I've been looking forward to this. Like Joseph was like my homeboy at Ballet Mat. We probably after every class we would go to a mutual friend's apartment and literally play video games until like 1 a.m. every night. Every night. Like we all had school and like other responsibilities, and we just played Smash Bros instead, probably every day.
Yeah, no, it was great. Looking back on it, I don't regret any of it.
No, not a single, not a single second.
Yeah,
it was good.
So what have you been up to lately?
Well, we just got into Nutcracker, and so that's pretty much been consuming my entire life. When I wake up, I go to the theater at like 9 a.m, and I'm there until 10:30 every day.
Oh boy.
And it's gonna be like that for pretty much the next month. I'm also doing audition videos. I've pretty much finished. I just have to do contemporary at the very end. And I don't know what I'm gonna do for contemp. I'll figure that out.
Gotcha.
Just trying to stay mentally intact for the month of December.
Fair enough.
Everyone's playing.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing in the Nutcracker?
So I'm Rat King.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Charlotte Ballet is a little unique. The Rat King and the Nutcracker are both trainee positions, and usually the like 1 or 2 trainee boys will get the Rat King spot, and it's really fun because you have a lot of freedom, so you can kind of do whatever you want artistically. I was covering Party Parent, which I wasn't supposed to do ever, but I've already done half the shows, so.
Oh, okay.
Like, I never rehearsed it for tech. I never rehearsed it in costume. And they're just like, well, you have to do it. So that was fun.
Well, good thing you were paying attention in rehearsals.
I was totally paying attention in rehearsals. Yes. But it's good. It's good. We're getting through it.
Yeah. You also sent me the other day a nice picture of you doing Party Parent with my friend and roommate from last year, Maya, who's a company member in Charlotte Ballet now.
Yeah. No, she was a great help because like that was my second time doing Party Parent ever, like running through it. And so she was literally just like, you need to stand there. And I was like, yes, I'll go over there. And so she'd like whisper like, okay, so on 7, you're gonna pick that up. And I'd be like, on 7, I got it. Like walking me through it. It's good.
Nice. All right. Well, are you ready to like jump into the questions now?
Yeah, hit me.
All right, Emma, you can start off with the first question.
Yeah. So, what got you into dancing, and how long ago was that?
I started dancing at 13, and I'm an old man now, so that's about 6 years ago. I went to this like a theater camp in Colorado, in Steamboat Springs. It's like out in the middle of the woods, like you live in log cabins. And there's bears, and it was half theater, half dance. And I mostly went for like the theater and the horseback riding, and but they also took ballet classes, and my mom was like, you should just be in one. And I remember taking the ballet class thinking it's gonna be really easy, and it was me in tights in a room full of girls, and I was probably the worst one. And I was terrible because everyone else in like the room went to the camp specifically for ballet, and then there was me, and I looked like a duck with autism. It was not good. It was terrible, and it just really hurt my ego. And I was like, this is not. I can't be this bad at something. Like, this is just terrible. So I got home. I was like, Mom, I'm gonna get really good at ballet, and I still haven't, and I'm still here. But someday I will be good at ballet, and I'll tell my mom that I've achieved my dreams. So it's just lifelong mission of that. Yeah.
I love that. That's like the coolest origin story for getting into dance.
As a hurt
Like,
ego.
yeah, because of your hurt ego.
It's definitely a villain
Um,
story, but
All pride. Yeah.
I'm curious because before I did ballet, I was like, that's a girl thing. I'm never
Yeah.
gonna do that. But then somehow I ended up doing it.
Right.
Did you have the same mindset before doing it, or?
Kind of. I don't know. Like, it just, to me, it just seemed like any other sport that I did. Like, I was in
Okay.
swimming, I played basketball, I played soccer. And so I just kind of saw it as like a form of athleticism that I was bad at, which was something I wasn't used to. Like, not to, I was really good at sports as a kid. Like, I kind of dominated all of them. And then there's this one that I couldn't do. If anything, it was worse that all the girls could do it. So it was kind of like, I kind of saw it the other way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So after that, you're like, I'm gonna start taking like a crap ton of ballet classes, or what?
Yeah, so there's a little studio by me called Tipper Dance Academy. It's run by this former Rockette. She's pretty cool. But they didn't really do real ballet. Like, it was more like competition jazz. And I didn't know that at the time. I just did it. And then I went to the rock school in Philadelphia. And when I went there, that's when I was like, I really can't do ballet, because they'd be like, because they don't even show the combinations over there. They're just like, Cassage, Talave. I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't speak French. And they kind of kicked my butt. That was like a really insulting 3 years for me. They kicked my ass, and I did not look good. But it was good character development, if anything.
And how old were you when you moved to Philadelphia?
That would have been like my 14, 16.
Dang.
And then right out of the rock is when you met me in Ballymet, Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't quite have turnout yet at that point. Still working on it.
No, I'm not gonna say on the podcast what you said our very first day at Ballymet, but
I
it was
forget.
it was
You'll have to text me
very
after, because I don't remember what I said either.
it was very out of pocket, and from then on I decided I like this kid and I hope we become best friends. I probably wasn't thinking that, but I do remember what you said was very funny.
Dude, you'll
And
have to, after when we're off the record, you'll have to tell me, because I don't even remember what I said.
yeah. So after Ballymet, well, how long were you at Ballymet as a trainee?
2 years. I
2 years.
was there the year with you, and then I did one more year
Hmm.
before leaving, because I could not stay there any longer.
And then after Ballymet, where did you go?
Right now I'm a trainee with Charlotte Ballet, which is pretty fun. It's very different than any other training programs I've been to. It's really small. Like, it's really small. Like, Ballymet had like probably 45 people total. Charlotte Ballet keeps it like 20, because they really like really focused attention. And the guy who runs the program is just a monster. His name's Laszlo Berto, and he used to be a principal at Boston. He's
Oh
like
wow.
a skinny man that just smokes like 2 packs a day, and he is so mean. Like, he's brutal.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like, he'll yell at me like 4 times before we get to like dégages. Like, it's insane.
Dang.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good. It's good for you.
Nice. Can you go back and just talk a little bit about your time at the Rock School of Dance in
Yeah.
Philadelphia?
Yeah, so the rock school was interesting. The reason I went is because it was the only school that I knew at the time, because I was still pretty new to the world, where I could dance a lot and still be in school, because I was, like 14 at the time.
Mhm.
So finishing out high school is really important. And so the way it works is they have an instructor whose only job is to monitor everyone doing schoolwork. And that's called
Oh.
academics period. So it's all online, and they have a couple recommended online uh, schools that everyone goes to, and you just pick between the three. And
Mhm.
everyone will go into a room, and there'll be a guy, and he'll watch over everyone doing schoolwork. So if you have a question, if you need something, if you need like supplies for a project, his job is to just make it happen for you. You need help like
Oh,
sending an
okay.
email to a teacher, figuring out the platforms. He's got it. And so you have
Oh.
academics for 2 hours, and then you take a 2 hour technique class, and then you eat lunch, and then take another academics period, and then we'll have another technique class, and then we'll have like partnering, men's class, whatever, a contemporary class, depending on the day, whatever that looks like.
Mhm.
And it's just that the whole time.
Oh, wow.
Um, and the other cool thing about the rock school is they had a really diverse faculty. Like I got both Ballet Med and Charlotte Ballet. There was probably like they rotated between like 4 or 5 teachers. I'd say it was pretty
Mhm.
normal for a program. They had like 10. They had a
Oh,
lot
wow.
of teachers. Like every day, you had a different teacher. Then you had 2 technique classes every day. Both of those technique classes were probably taught by a different teacher. Like it
Oh,
was a
huh.
lot of different. Um, which is good because you had to learn to adjust to everyone, and they were all different. Everyone wanted a different kind of frappe. Everyone wanted a different
Mhm.
accent for rond de jambes. Like you had to, really lock in, and every teacher would get offended if you didn't do what they wanted. So you had to really remember. They're like, "My way is the only right way," So yeah, you had to, So it's good practice.
Mm.
It's good practice. A lot of turning. It was a turning school. So the
Oh,
kid,
yeah. For
yeah.
sure.
I can't turn. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how it came out of the rock and can't turn, but crazy.
What were your parents' reaction to you like getting accepted and moving out at such a young age?
Um, my mom didn't care. I mean, my mom's the Chinese one, so she was like, ship him out to a boarding school as soon as we can. Like her parents did it to her for music. She was gonna do it to me. It's
Oh,
for
I see.
something. It was in her plan. I don't think my dad was as prepared for me to leave. I think he's a little bit more like, you know, but it's good. They were proud. I think they were both a little bit nervous that it was ballet because they were
Hmm.
like, that's not what we expected to be sending him off for. We wanted a real job. Anyways, my mom also went to college for music, so she
Mm.
also really liked the arts. So they were supportive of it. They
Hmm.
definitely had some doubts, but they didn't tell me. Like they weren't like we weren't sure. Like I know now, but at the time they were pretty supportive of it, which is good.
Mm. Yeah.
I was glad, grateful.
Nice. And then from that point on, you moved to Columbus, Ohio to become a trainee at
Yeah,
Ballet Met.
yeah.
Can
That's
you talk about your experience at Ballet Met?
Ballet Met. Ballet Met is a very interesting. Was an interesting program because the company and the training program are so separated.
Hmm.
Mm.
I feel like for most companies, the training program is kind of used as a recruiting tool for a second company. Some companies do have like apprentice or studio company, whatever. Those are pretty interchangeable.
Hmm.
But that's generally what it is. Ballet Met was not treating it like that at all. For
Right.
Ballet Met is very much an extension of the academy and also to make money. Sorry. But they had like 50 people and 13 boys, which is awesome. 13 boys is a great number for a training program. But like 30 girls is crazy. And so it's one of those things where it gets super competitive because all the girls, like, there's not a lot of attention to go around. But there are some really good teachers there. Dmitry Suslav is probably top 5 teachers I've ever had. He's a really cool
Mm.
guy. I like him. I don't think he liked me, but he's a great teacher. The second year when you left, we had Andreas and Zoika come in.
Oh, right.
They used to teach at Ballet Met before you were there, before I was
Hmm.
there, but they
Right.
came back. Andreas is an amazing teacher. He did a lot for me strength wise.
Hmm.
Like I always had a really high jump, but he helped me kind of refine it and he helped me a lot with turns too. That last year was when I first started learning how to like do turns, to get where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how to explain it. The whole year was very just monotonous always.
Hmm.
Like the performance opportunities were pretty meh as a trainee. You're doing more at the academy and all of those performances sucked. You just don't really there's no fun rep. Like you're just not really enjoying what you're doing outside of class. Class is always my favorite part of the day, so I didn't
Hmm.
mind it, which is why I was willing to stay that second year just to get the good training because
Yeah.
anytime you go to a new program there's always a risk that you're not gonna like the training part.
Right.
But the performance and the rep, like everything outside of the technique is just very bleh. And it's very easy to just fall in a rut, which a lot of people did. Like a lot of people did fall in that rut where it just gets
Hmm.
kind of miserable those last couple months of the year. But the training was really good, and I'm really grateful for everything the teachers did for me, for sure.
Nice. Yeah. I remember, especially during audition season at Ballet Met, I was just like not motivated at all.
Right. Because
And
there's nothing that, like, it's just the same. Like, you can even talk about, like, how did you feel, like, during those end of year performances, like, Copelia and everything. Like,
right.
I
No.
don't know how you felt about it, but I was, like, pretty bored.
Yeah, no, like for most of the trainees, if you weren't picked to do any company rep, we were
Right.
working on the same two things for the whole nine
Right.
months we were in the
Right.
program, which
Uh, and then to go off of what you were saying, the 2 or 3 trainees that were picked to do company rep were picked at the very beginning of the year
right.
based on what they did last year. So if you're
Yeah.
a new trainee going into it, no matter how good you are, guaranteed you won't be one of those people. Anyways, yeah, the people are picked at the beginning of the year based on last year. So if you're a new trainee, you won't be those two people. Like they'll pick a guy and a girl, maybe 2 girls and a guy. And those people will get to learn company rep. They won't ever perform it really, but they get to learn it and just be there for the rehearsal process. But if you're not one of those two people, you are rehearsing 2 pieces of rep the entire year. And you'll perform each of those pieces of rep a couple of times, but it's just those two. And you start on day one. Like we started
hmm
Western on the first day
Yeah.
of the program, and we didn't. And it's not that long. It was 3 acts together for what 20 minutes,
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
and we rehearsed that the entire year. So like
hmm
by January, it's like, what are we even doing? Like, why am I in this rehearsal? I know this.
Yeah. Um, but in January around that time we we were blessed with those trainee choreography things.
Oh yeah, I liked mine. I liked working with Amelie, to be
Oh
honest.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's good. Oh yeah, her piece was good.
yeah. I was in Amelie's pieces both years, and I don't remember. Yeah, I really liked both of them. Both of her
Hmm,
pieces were really fun to be in.
nice.
Trying to remember them.
What was it like
Um,
having a peer run the rehearsals?
Um, to be honest, I got to pick whose piece I was in because I had a couple different
Mm.
people asking me. So I picked Amelie knowing that she was going to do a really good job. And because she and I were probably like the closest two of the group, she and I were not friends at this point by any means, but
Mm.
like we just didn't talk at all. But like I knew who she was, so I was pretty confident she was going to pull something out. And like now and like towards the end of the second year, she and I had a really good relationship. So by the second time I was in her piece, it was like this is no sweat.
Mm.
But it was good. And also I think like a lot of those choreographers that are like 60 and haven't danced themselves in like 40 years can sometimes
Mm.
be kind of out of touch. So in a weird way, I actually really liked having a student who has to learn rep every day be the one who's teaching rep, because they do it in a refreshing way. Like it's kind of easier to pick up almost because it's natural, because they're also learning every day, so it's really easier for them to put it out in the way a student thinks, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so can you talk about how your time as a trainee at Charlotte Ballet has been?
Yeah. It is definitely a little bit different. It was different. It's different than ballet met in two big ways. One is the trainee program is so small, so attention is really focused, which is nice. The first year there was 4 trainee boys, and we still had men's class. So it would be us, the 4 of us in a room doing adagio like one by one. It'd be like a 64 count adagio. And like anytime you do anything like slightly bad, like he just yells at you. And like it's like you either get good really fast, or like all the teachers learn really quickly that you don't take corrections and they just don't look at you the rest of the year. Which is like a little harsh, but it's also good because if you work hard, like you get so much feedback, maybe a little bit too much feedback, but you improve really quickly, and they force you to improve really quickly, which is nice. They also try to be diverse too. Like we take like West African classes, there's contemporary, there's a lot of conditioning classes, which is nice. Personally, I'm a ballet boy. I like ballet, but it's cool to learn those things.
Yeah.
Partnering classes is a little hard with 4 boys. From our teacher's opinion, that's great because it means the boys just don't get a break. So like when we get to Grand Allegro, all 4 go, and then all 4 go, and then so we're all dying and like crying on the floor. But he's like, back when I was a kid, that's how he did it. Back in my day, when ballerinas weren't softies. but it's good. The rep is really cool. They bring in our teachers. Rarely ever do our rep. They'll bring in choreographers to put set rep on us. Like you guys, Dow. I don't remember his first name is. He said a piece on you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Dow. Like he set that on us right before he came to you guys.
Yeah, it was the same piece.
Yeah, it was the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you guys like it? What did you guys feel about the piece?
I liked it because I got an opportunity. Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah. Okay, we both got Emma and I got an opportunity to do the same paw, not together, but in separate
Yeah.
casts. So
that's cool.
that's probably why we liked it.
That's good. I know, because if we're not important, it's like not as cool.
Yeah.
Especially because the way he teaches, he's like, just go in the other room and practice it. Well, set the paw on these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember.
But that
him
was
doing
one
that.
of like the choreographers. Yeah. And so that was one. So it's things like that. Like they're always bringing in other people. So the rep is refreshing and it's dynamic and you're doing a lot of different things, which is cool. I have ADHD. I don't know if you can tell, so I get bored really easily. So I like to move on with reps. Like once I perform it, I don't ever want to rehearse it again. That makes me so mad. Like if I did it on stage in front of people and we were good, I better not rehearse that piece again. that better be the last. That better be the end of it. Like, but it's good. So I really like the program a lot. The training's really good. Like I said, well, I mean, I didn't say it on the record. Our artistic director is super contemporary focused now. He pretty much, I don't think he wants the company to do any more ballets for the next couple of years. It's going to be primarily his choreography. So I think there's going to be a lot of limited upward movement for the trainee program here in a little bit, because the trainee program is so ballet focused. Like it's really, and he's picking people more that just move the way he likes to choreograph, which is, I don't think any of us do that because it's not how we train. So that's why I probably won't go back next year. I may mean to leave. I might quit, actually. This might be my last year dancing. I'm going to be for real.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm not sure. Like, I'm going to commit to the audition season.
Yeah.
Just, because it's the responsible thing to do. This is so expensive, but I'm gonna commit. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm juggling a lot of thoughts around.
Hey, like I've been telling you the past 2 years during audition season, SAC Ballet is always looking for guys in their second company,
True. That's
and
true.
I'm sure you've improved a ton since I saw you last in Columbus, and
I hope.
you're a strong partner, so they would definitely like you.
Well, I hope so, and I'll definitely shoot them a video or something, or maybe fly over to SAG. I'll say hi to you if I do.
Yeah.
Um, it's less about that I'm worried about like not getting something, but it's more I'm in college. I've been doing college. I've been majoring in business, and if I have time, I'd like to double major in finance. But it's kind of like I'm 19 now, which both of you guys are older than me, so this sounds really like stupid coming from me. But like it's a really weird point where like I'm gonna be 20 next year, just crazy. I'm gonna be old. I'm an old man, and like and college is going so slow because I have because I'm dancing and I have a job on top of it. Like I'm not just dancing; I also have a part-time job to help pay for rent and college and everything. And it just feels like college is going so slow because of dance. And it feels like if I were to quit dance right now, I can make so much more money just working full time, and then I graduate so much faster. And by the time I'm 22, I could be done with college, have a bunch saved up, and probably just have a real job.
That's true.
Whereas if I continue this path of ballet, no matter how good I am, when I'm like 21, I'll probably be in your position. Like I'll probably be in a second company, you know, super busy, still probably not done with college. And I'll be closer to that company spot, sure. But even when I get it, like it's still not great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's attainable, I think, and it still could not be. I could totally be 21 and and not have any of that either. But it's more like I really enjoy dance, something I really like to do. But it's more just like juggling the futures, you know.
Right. No, I appreciate you being real for that. That
Yeah.
is something you have to consider.
Right.
Especially I guess in the present time now.
Right.
I think before COVID it was probably a little bit easier. And then,
Mm-hmm.
way before COVID it was a lot easier. But like
Right.
I feel like especially since COVID, it's harder for people of our age, like between ages of 18 to 22, to like get a job
Right.
in that age range.
Yeah.
There's
So,
just a lot of
A lot
steps
of
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's unpaid labor is what it is. It's so hard to explain to people that don't dance what I'm doing, or even how second company works.
Right.
Because like in any other profession or trade, like if I want to become an electrician, if I like apprenticed as an electrician, like for a contracting company, I'm getting paid 20 an hour, like to apprentice. Which I don't want to be an electrician. This is an example. And then
Yeah.
it's like a set. Like it's like in 2 years you get your electrician's license, and then since you're already apprenticed there, they'll probably just hire you.
Right.
And then now you're just getting paid 35 an hour because you guaranteed get your license if you're apprentice for that long. Like
Right.
guaranteed you get that. In ballet, it's like you could trainee for 4 years. You could second company forever. Like I know 25-year-olds right now that are still like in a second company, and it's like they're pushing for it, and like they're just not realizing that they might just never. It might be over. Like you don't know. It's a gamble every year you
Right.
stay in.
Yeah.
And also the upside for the gamble also sucks.
Yeah.
But we love it. Like we love it. You're doing it because you love what you're doing.
Right. Yeah.
So
It's just so hard because this is such a subjective art form and
right.
industry we're in. So like
Mhm.
it doesn't even matter how good you could be. It's just all up
Right.
to the person in the front of the
Right.
room, and that
Yeah.
sucks. But
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
Emma, you're so right. Like somewhere around like 2010, they discovered that they could just not pay us and we'd still perform
Yeah.
for them. And I don't know how they pulled that off,
Because we have to be grateful
But
for the opportunity. We just have to be so happy that we're
right,
in the room.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sucks even for girls too, because like at Ballet Met, for example, we weren't paying anything, but the girls were
Yeah.
paying $7,000 for the
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
which is
We're
crazy.
having
Paying $7,000 for experience is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they don't all get the same experience.
No.
Mm.
I mean, the company literally relies on them. Like, if trainees weren't doing Snow Flow, there would have been no Nutcracker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they were working their asses off for Snow Flow. That was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when Nutcracker ends, everyone breathes like a silent sigh of relief, and then half the people can't take class for the next week because they're broken.
Yeah.
Like, Snow Flow broke them. But as the experience. It's all for the experience, guys.
But I feel like
Yeah.
also the crazy thing is then that's not counted as company experience because you have
No,
to.
it's not.
A lot of the times it's like that's trainee experience, and you have to be either in a second company or an apprenticeship in order for it to count as professional experience.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, that is the greatest trick the devil ever pulled. I don't know.
Yeah. Before Emma asks you the next question, just one more question I have about Charlotte is, does Charlotte have a second company?
Yeah, they have a second company.
Okay. Are they considered above you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
100% they're above us.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
because it's very clear. For Charlotte Ballet, the training program is also kind of more a part of the academy. I
Oh, I
think
see. Okay.
most companies are doing that now. That's like a pretty common trend. There's still
Gotcha.
a few that don't do that, but for the most part, that's what most companies are doing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I had a misconception that the trainee and second company at Charlotte Ballet were kind of the same thing. Because that's the
No.
way it works here at SAC Ballet is
Yeah.
our second company is made up of SB2s and the trainee people. And so we call that the second company. So I thought that was the
No,
way it worked at Charlotte as well.
not at all.
Gotcha.
It'd be crazy. There's too many of us. And also, I mean, I'm glad it's not, to be honest, because the second company doesn't have, they're on company schedule. Like, second company is on company schedule. They take every class with the company. They're there for every company rehearsal.
Okay.
And I don't like their class schedule because like there's not a lot of class. Like, it's more about the rep.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas I still want to be, grinding out.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Because I'm not where I want to be yet. So.
Gotcha.
Nice. Did you have any
Thank you.
mentors along the way?
Kind of. I think like I never had like some dancers have like a specific person that they like go back to their whole career. I don't think I did because like I never stayed in the same place for more than 2 years. There have definitely been some teachers that impacted my growth a lot more. At The Rock, there was a teacher named Laura Banchero who was my least favorite teacher the entire time. I hated her. She was so mean to me. But like looking back on it, if I had just listened to her a little bit more, and she did have like I think she had the most positive impact on my technique as much as I hated her, and I would complain about her all the time. And she knows I did not like her, but to be honest, like I don't even know if I would have. Yeah, like she probably did the most for my growth out of most teachers I've had. Here, there's a guy named, like I said, there's only 4 guys at Charlotte Ballet. So we're all really close with one of our teachers here. His name's Laszlo. And like you develop a very specific relationship with him. A, because he's allowed to be a little meaner to us than the girls. Like just because of the environment. Like we come in and like Laszlo sees us eating, he's like, "You're gonna get fat." And then we're like, we're dancing, and he's like, "Caleb, I can see your lunch. Like, do you even work out anymore?" You know what I mean? He's allowed to say that to us, and and like he can be a little bit harder on us, and no, he won't complain because we can't. And the 6th time you're partnering, a press in a row because there's only 4 boys to partner the whole room, and you don't make the press, he's like, "You're a weak bitch," you know. And so he's definitely also like a very he's in a very like mentor figure for all of us. I think I swear he's a really awesome person. Like I'm making him sound mean, but I swear he's an awesome person.
No,
He's also mean.
I like when a teacher does that. I like when a teacher
Yeah.
can just be themselves and be real with their
Yeah.
students.
No, literally yesterday we were doing warm up class like before performance, and he wasn't even teaching it. He was just in the green room, and you know how you can see the stage like from the monitors. I come off, and he's like, "Hey, I was I watched you through the monitors, right?" And I'm like, "There's no way you spent your free time watching the warm up class." And he's like, "I did, and you were shit." And like those are his exact words. Like I'm not exaggerating. His exact words were, "I did, and you were shit." And then
That's crazy.
the next warm up class to continue the banter, I'm like, "Was I better this time?" And he's like, "You think I spent my free time watching you?" And I'm like, "Bro, you gotta pick one."
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Keeps
yes,
life interesting.
yeah, no, for sure, for sure. He's the reason I stayed a second year, honestly. But he's great. His name's Laszlo Berto. If anyone wants to know,
Follow
That's
on
no joke.
Instagram.
Not sure.
yeah, at Lasberto.
If you consider the world of dance as a vast, interconnected ecosystem, in this complex network, every dancer, from the eager novice to the most seasoned professional, plays a pivotal role. This is the ethos behind Creative Generations, a project I began with a close circle of longtime friends and accomplished dancers who truly want to give current and future generations of dancers a healthier, more informed, and supportive foundation for their training. By connecting aspiring dancers with these established professionals, we are fostering a nurturing environment where knowledge and passion for dance are cultivated, shared, and passed down, ensuring the art form flourishes for generations to come. Welcome to Creative Generations.
Nice. So I don't talk to a lot of people in the first place, so I don't really know if other people have done this. But like so far in my life, you're like the only person I know who moved away from home at such an incredibly young age. Can you just talk about what it has been like, just like being on your own and having to kind of support yourself since the age of 14? Well, maybe not while you were at the rock school, but
Yeah,
from ballet then on.
yeah. Yeah, I guess I'll say because like the rock school is more of a boarding school type
Mhm.
deal, which is
Right.
part of why my parents are okay with it. Like there was people like we were all like in a dorm setting, and there were people whose job were to like make sure we don't accidentally die, and like we cleaned our rooms and stuff, you know.
Hmm.
So I'd say like I'd like when I tell people I moved away, I say 16. This is the year I officially was like lived on my own, was 16 because I didn't have a roommate or anything. Um, and then 17 was when I became independent, like financially. I'm still on my parents' health insurance, but everything else. Um, it's good. I think when I first went to the Rock, I definitely low key was not ready from like a maturity standpoint.
Hmm.
Like I was not ready to be away from home, I think, and it was a really harsh adjustment. By the time I went to Ballet Met and I was like living on my own, like in an apartment by myself, I think I was a lot more prepared for it, like to survive as a contributing member of society. Like I functioned as a person. I'm still really messy though. But a 16-year-old boy. I mean, you can't. That's not my fault. It's
Right.
it's in the marks. But it was really cool. I think it was hard. It was really hard, like maintaining a good relationship with my parents for part of it because I was still 16. They wanted to feel like they were parenting me still,
Hmm.
and like they still wanted to be how do I word it? They wanted to still make sure that they were like guiding me in the right direction from a distance, but from my perspective, it just felt like I'm not even there anymore, guys. Like, chill. Like,
Do you still feel the same way now, or like looking
no,
back? Okay.
no. like now I know that at the time all of their demands were pretty normal.
Yeah, and it
And
came from
like
a place of love.
right, it can't. Yeah, then I'm grateful for it. Now, obviously, they don't care what I do as much. Like, I mean, I'm like at this point, like I'm pretty much gone. I'll visit home, but like I'm not that.
Right.
I mean, I have two younger siblings too, and from what I'm hearing, they're both crazy. So they're focusing their attention on them. My little sister is 17 right now, and she and my parents are going through it. Ah. I don't know how your parents were when you were 17, Emma. But like my sister will text me like, "Our parents suck. Like I hate them." And then my dad will text me like, "Your sister's grounded again." And to listen to her. She like stole their car apparently, and like she like stole my dad's car, and, like drove off without him knowing.
Oh.
And like that was like a week before I went home for Christmas break last year. And I got home and the tension in the house was insane. Like I was like, am I even welcome here? Like this, like no one's talking. It's crazy.
Dang.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I love
I
them
was
all.
an angel, so I didn't have to experience
Oh.
that.
That's
And I
crazy.
also wasn't at
And
home
none
at
of us were.
17, so that didn't really help.
Yeah. See? Yeah, there you go. That's like I avoided most of the whole like I hate my parents phase because I wasn't there. I was gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was like I would be like at a party and my parents would text me like I hope you're safe and I'd be like yep. Are you getting some good sleep, Caleb? And it'd be like 3 a.m. playing Smash Bros. And I'd be like yep. Yeah. I was not healthy or responsible either of those 2 years. No regrets.
Yeah, living your life. It's hard not to
Live my
enjoy the moments without your parents being there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
A lot of freedom at once.
It's kind of cool. Yeah. Which it was definitely a little bit, I think, malproductive at the time. But I think because I went through it already, it's kind of nice now. Because now it's like, there's no need. So now I'm a little bit more, locked in. Because I kind of already went through that when I was younger too. So that helps out a little bit.
Yeah. What is the best piece of rep that you've ever performed?
Ooh. So I'm gonna answer that in 2 different ways. I'm gonna give the best looking piece of rep I performed from the audience, and then my favorite one to do, because those are not the same. The best looking one that everyone tells me is the best piece of rep I've done was a choreographer that that Charlotte's Trainee program brought in last year. Her name was Naima, and it was so basically half of us did the Dao piece that you guys learned, and the other half did Naima's piece. And I was selected for Naima's piece. Thank God. And it was horrible. First of all, she did not have a piece choreographed for us. She came up with it as we went. But we had to learn it in 2 weeks. So we had 2 weeks for her to come up with it and for us to learn it. It was probably about 12 minutes. And there was 10 of us at first, and then it dropped down. No, it was 11 at first, and it dropped down to 9. So at the end of the year, 9 of us in the piece, and all 9 of us were out on stage dancing full out the entire 12 minutes.
Oh, wow.
There was no breaks. Like if you went off stage, it was to enter right on stage in a different wing right away, just for the sake of formation change. So you were still running on and running off. Like it was exhausting. And as many times as we ran it for stamina, I don't think it ever got better. Every time we ran it, all of us would be like passed out. Like we could not move. And but it looked amazing. Like she did a brilliant job creating it. And there was so much energy and it looked really good. And like looking back on the video, I'm like, that actually, like I hate her so much, but that was a damn good piece. But every second of it was, and it was 12 minutes, and like the 20th time you're doing it, like on stage, like you're making eye contact with everyone else, and they're all like passing out, it's like 6 minutes to go, like it was like cardio, so like once you knew the moves, it just became cardio. It was ridiculous, but it looked great.
Nice.
Dude, the hardest part when it was Laszlo always made it the last piece. Like once he performed it the first time, he's like, "That's amazing." It became our closer every show, which meant that when we finished, we had to stay standing up and then bow, which was cruel. Like you can't stand after that. Like is bows like those. I couldn't even like do the bow. My legs like shaking. It was fine. So that was the best looking piece, like as far as the rep goes. My personal favorite piece of rep I did was actually a pure choreographed piece, also at Charlotte Ballet.
Oh.
One of the other boys made a piece to a song called Watermelon Man, which is smooth jazz. You would actually like it. Look up Watermelon Man. It's the name of the piece. It's really cool. It's all like saxophones and this is very like syncopated, smooth jazz. And I low-key, he hates ballet. I don't know what he's doing, but he low-key hates it. And so like, the choreography was so, like, just not, it didn't exist. Like, it was not real. It was like if he was, like, just dancing in the shower, like, at his apartment, just, like, improvising to smooth jazz, is what it looked like.
I see.
And it was so fun to do. And like when we had to show each other the pieces for the first time, and he introduced Watermelon Man to the faculty, like it was like the look. It was great. Like it was really fun to do, and I enjoyed every time he performed. It's probably one of my favorite things.
Do you have like performance footage of that?
Yeah, I could probably send it to you for sure.
Okay, awesome. Because I'd love to include a little bit of that in this video.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'll
nice.
try to get some to you. Nothing else, I just text it. But
nice.
I can get some to you in the next couple days.
Oh man.
Let's see. What do you think personally for you was the hardest part of being a dancer while growing up?
I don't know. I think dance was one of the first things in my life that cannot be solved by raw discipline. Like you can't just practice a pirouette over and over and over again and it'll get better. Like there's a lot of weird nuance and coordination that no one can really truly explain. And it's a little bit different for everyone and different for every body.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was a point in my life where it really felt like ballet was just not meant for me at all. And no matter how much I tried, like how hard I worked, I couldn't get any better. And since that was at a really young age in my development, I think it kind of creates a sense of learned helplessness. And you two both know there is a point where ballet is your whole life. Like you wake up and you dance and you go home and you think about dance and you stretch and then you go to sleep and then you wake up and you do it again. And so having your whole day being something that you know you're not good at and you low-key don't know how to fix it is just really frustrating.
Yeah.
And I think it was just and like once you get over that hump, which hopefully everyone does, and I hope you two have. But like once you it's a rough period. And I think doing that while I was still learning who I was in those like younger years was just a really frustrating. Like at the time I just felt really stuck.
Yeah, also like growing up, I don't want to be like a Debbie Downer or anything, but like is there any part of you that wonders or regrets like moving away from home at such a young age? Like
No.
Yeah, that's good.
No. Cuz like I had to change and mature really quickly once I left home. Like I had to start like really like it was like a really like the 14-year-old Caleb and 15-year-old Caleb like night and day differences. Like not like it was really weird. Like when I look back on who I was at 13, I'm like that dude was weird. Like I don't know what he was doing. That's a crazy kid. And so I'm very grateful. Like where I am now, I'm fine. Like I'm okay with what it turned out to be. So I'm from a developmental standpoint, I have no regrets. Do I do I ever wonder what would have happened if I spent the last 6 years working towards something that was not dance, something maybe a little bit more productive? All the time,
Mm,
all the time. But like from development, like a who I am standpoint, I have no regrets.
nice. I love that for you.
Thank you.
You kind of talked about like being stuck in this learning cycle, and you're like, I'm getting stuck in that. What are ways that you still try to get out of that and keep improving? Because it's really hard to get out of that.
I think the most important thing is to recognize that since it is an art, you never will be where you want to be. And I think it's really important to acknowledge that you are going to be learning forever. There's no point where you master it. And you just kind of have to accept that for yourself. And that helps a lot. The other thing is, and this is really weird, you do have to try every single correction every single teacher gives you. And I know I might have bigger egos than you, but there's definitely a point in time where like teachers might give a correction and be like, well, that probably wouldn't work for me. And I'll try it once and it wouldn't work, and I'd be like, yeah, like that. Like, I'm sure it worked for him. That's just not gonna work for me. But you really do have to take like 2 months and like
Mhm.
grind it out, and then like just do it every day, and then eventually it might start working for you.
Yeah.
And it also might not, and sometimes it won't. But you do have to kind of take that chance with every single correction. So
Right.
eventually, after the end of like a year, you've like improved at least like 3 or 4 things, like
Mhm.
concretely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like keeping an open mind is a really big one, something that I learned the hard way, because I don't just accept things, which is bad because you're in a room full of people who know more than you do, so you should just accept it.
Right.
And then I think I'd say the third biggest thing is working on non-dance related conditioning outside of the studio probably plays a bigger role than amateurs realize. Like doing something that's completely not related to ballet at all, but just is strengthening and is conditioning, is probably one of the best things you can do to help yourself in the studio. And then again, it'll be a long time before you see, but it's there. And
Mhm.
over time it compounds.
Nice. I think that is excellent advice. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's something that I can take away right now, because I'm a lazy piece of crap. So
Yeah.
sometimes I don't always want to work out, but
I know.
it's part of the job. So
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like again, like back to electrician. Like you work your 9 to 5 as an electrician. You come home, you can do whatever you want. Like you will never get worse at wiring because you didn't practice wiring before you went to bed. That doesn't exist for anybody else other than us.
right.
It's so unfair, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like it's just us.
Right. Yeah. Moving on. Do you prefer jumps or turns?
Oh, jumps! Have you seen me turn? You've seen me turn.
Hey, I'm just asking for the podcast.
For the people.
For the
Oh
people,
my
yeah.
god. I probably didn't learn how to do a double pirouette till like last year. Like it was I can't. Turning is so hard for me. Like it's crazy just how God, I can't. I don't even want to talk about it.
I can relate.
I don't understand it. Like I could do like a really solid double soda basque and
Mhm.
land it before I could consistently land a double pirouette. Like I could do double tour, fifth to fifth, and I
Mhm.
could not do like a triple, right and left. I don't know. I don't understand it. It makes no sense.
I think you're underselling yourself. I remember from the beginning of the season at Ballet Met, like to the end of the season, your pirouettes had improved so much,
Well,
like
that's
a
good.
crazy amount.
Well, I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
glad you think so. They're still bad. Yeah,
Nah.
and like over the years, like I figured it out. But
Mhm.
there's an amount of confidence. Like I'm just not. I will always be more confident in jumps.
Yeah.
Like, I could whip out like an on the down soda basque right now, cold, no sweat. And if you're like, I need you to do a really clean 3, I'd be like, hold on, let me like warm up a little bit, get on my leg.
No, I totally get it though, because pirouettes are a thing where you have to be so consistent, and
Mm-hmm.
At certain points, you have to be consciously aware of your doing. But for
Right.
me, for jumps, like you were saying, it's easier to just whip out and
Right.
not really think about it, and it somehow still works.
Right. Like, I mean, you want, like, you want a tour. I'll give you a tour right now. Like, it's,
Yeah.
when you want a double cabriole, I can do a double cabriole. I can do that any time of the day.
Mm,
Like, I won't wake up and have an off day and then not be able to do a double cabriole.
mm,
And I want you like, our same goes that any variations that don't have a lot of turns in it,
mhm.
like, like Act 3 Swan Lake, I could just
Yeah.
do it any day. But if you're like, do Corsair right now, I could totally fuck up that also cone section right now, like nobody's
Mm.
business. They could totally land on my face, and it is what it is.
Do you do you have like a favorite jump?
Mm. Dude, have you seen Aaron Bell's double sort of Bosque and Attitude?
Yes.
That might take the cake.
Hmm.
I also really love it's not like that impressive, but I love the revatut that lands a devant, if I'll say, like in Paquita.
Oh yeah.
They're best like double revatut
Hmm.
to the front. It's a really pretty move when done well.
It is, yeah.
And it's like it's not the most like technically it's not like a 540. But when I see someone do a 540, it's like whatever. But I see like
Right.
a really perfect like revatut landing like perfectly, devant effacé like turned
Hmm.
out. They stick the landing. That's beautiful.
It is, yeah.
It's beautiful.
This is going back to the turning. This is a side note.
Yeah.
I feel like also I'm a really bad turner, but when I turn sometimes I'll get glimpses of like hope where I can do like 3
Yeah.
or 4, and then like the next pirouette I fall out of a single. And
Dude,
so it's so frustrating.
I know. It's a downhill battle for sure.
Yeah.
Or uphill. It's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
Like Joseph is no fun in this conversation because he can just do 6.
Yeah. You can
And
just
it's
do
like,
6
it
right
sucks.
and left.
That's the other thing is like I'll fall out of a pirouette and my teacher will tell me like, oh, it's because your first position was too high, or like you twisted before you went, and then I'll see someone else twist, fully turn in the supporting leg, and then do 5, and I'm like, he did both of those things and he did 5, and I'm in like a perfect passe and I fall. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. It's always the people with the perfect like turning positions can't turn. Because I've always been told that I have like the perfect position and I just can't do it. And yeah.
It's like, at what point do I give up and just become Jorge Barani? Like, at what point? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
We're working on it.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite part of class?
I mean, like, I love Adagio in center. I love Adagio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I hate Adagio at bar. It just doesn't. I don't know how to explain it. It just doesn't. It doesn't give.
No, I get it. Yeah.
I love Adagio in center. I like frappes. I actually always do like the very first pirouette combination. I hate it when teachers start with fancy things. I love that first, just like Tombe Pod Parade 4th pirouette.
Mhm.
That's all I want it to be.
Yeah.
And then Grand Allegro, takes the cake.
Nice.
Like our teachers here, I don't know. We all call it like this tours bread and butter, like just Tombe Pod Parade 5th double tour. We call that bread and butter here. It's classic bread and butters. I love just working, landing in 5th. Will forever be hard. It is what it is.
Wait, which one of your teacher calls it bread and butter?
Just all of them. Like, it just is.
Oh,
like,
all of
that's just
them.
the culture here. Yeah, like for always, and everyone's like bread and butter.
See, that's crazy because my rehearsal director last year, his name is Rhodes, and he was like in charge of overviewing some of the auditions for Sac Ballet Second Company, and he was telling me about this one audition, and he was like, "Yeah, this teacher, they just kept calling the double tour combination bread and butter," and I was so confused.
That's what it is.
Oh,
like it's your bread and butter,
See, I love that I now know the context for it.
Yeah.
And I can go and tell him that.
I want to say it came from Boston. I want to say the teachers that started it were all from Boston, but I could be wrong. So don't
Gotcha.
quote me on that. But like, if you ever see a teacher again, ask them if it had anything to do with Boston or if the teacher is from Boston or something. I think that's where it came from.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Bread and butters.
You kind of talked about the choreographic workshop kind of thing that you have at Charlotte. Are you interested in doing that? And if so, what piece are you going to try to create? Like a solo, a duet, or a group piece?
So I 100% want to choreograph. I've never done it. I've been in other people's pieces for years, and it's about time I try. If it's not good, it's whatever. But I gotta try. Put it in the books. We don't get to choose. So the way it works here at Charlotte Ballet is we have a comp class every week where we work on like composing. We do a lot of improv exercises. And then based on that and based on the people that look like they want to do it, Laszlo and the comp teacher just kind of choose 3 or 4 people to choreograph and randomly assign people to each of the choreographers. So you don't get to choose. Like, I got to choose who I was with before I got Ballet Met, for example. Here I don't. So I don't know. Like, it just be whatever I get. And then I just have to figure something out. I just have to wing it.
So there's no application process. They just...
No, it's not like I want 3 people. It's like he just assigns it to you. And then you'll pick 3 pieces of music and you'll send them all to him. And then he'll be like, you can do these 2, you can't do that one. And then and you pick the one you want. Yeah.
So not a lot of creative liberty with that.
No, you can do whatever you want, like choreographic wise. But like even at Ballet Met, I don't know if you remember, like a lot of people weren't even in pieces. Like if no one liked you, like some people were just straight up not in pieces at all.
Yeah.
And then there was also a point where like some people all got shitty dancers because, like maybe all the, I mean, it's kind of, kind of creates, it's more, he's just trying to level the playing field, which is cool. I don't mind it. And it's good. I mean, to be honest, no choreographer ever has full creative liberties either. Like
that's true. Yeah.
Like you just gotta work with what you get.
Yeah. I mean, it's a. Sorry, you can go, Emma.
Yeah, sorry. I did the process here in Sacramento, and we got to we filled out an application. We got to choose how many people we wanted, the song, and everything. So it's kind of interesting to hear that you don't get to choose any of that.
No, we don't. I mean, like, we get to choose the songs. Like, we'll submit 3, and like he just has to approve them, basically. Which I've never heard of him rejecting one. That's just so if he really doesn't like one, he's allowed to veto it. So he just has the precedent set, I mean, you really pretty much can choose everything besides the number of people, really. That's like really the only big thing.
Gotcha.
So it's divided evenly too.
So yeah, kind of going back to the solo, duet / paw or group piece. Let's say a piece was being choreographed on you, and you were presented 3 options. Would you want to do a solo for yourself, a paw, or just be in a group piece?
It would depend on the person choreographing it. I'd be good with all 3. The solo better be damn good. Like if I'm doing a solo in front of everybody, like the choreography better look good and it better be something that I'm comfortable with. Otherwise, I'd rather not do it. To be honest, I really enjoy watching group pieces. Like I really like watching like a group on stage, like all doing something exactly the same. Like I really love lots of dynamic movement. For my fried attention span. I like paws too. I do a paw. I'd probably pick a paw or a group piece over a solo. Probably. It depends.
Nice.
Paws are hard to choreograph though. Like I feel like paws are done so much and there's only so much to do, especially when you're mostly ballet trained. Like contemporary paws with a lot of abstract, those are really difficult to do in a new way. Because almost everything has been done. So that's another thing too.
And I did a pas, like I choreographed the pas. It was a contemporary pas, and I didn't realize how much negative space was going to be on stage.
Right.
So I had to like fill a lot of it because it was I totally agree with what you're saying.
Like it's hard. Like it is so hard, and kudos to you for attempting and then doing it because you did it. When you say you had to fill it, did you add other people to the pas around them, or
no? I just moved them away from each other. So the overall like concept was like the guy was dying, so basically like filling the space of them spreading out and coming together was definitely something to think about, and then like having them be in two separate places at once to also fill the space. That was also a way to help. Yeah.
That's smart. That's cool. It's so hard. Like I would definitely not be choreographing a pop. That is difficult to make look good.
Yeah. Especially since I'm not a man, so I don't know how a lot of lifts work. So I was trying to like do a lift and be like, can you do this? And I'm like, I don't know how to do it, so good luck, Joey. I hope you can figure it out.
That's funny. That's cool. So you choreographed. Did you choreograph anything?
No. No. I'm not afraid of choreographing, but I don't think I'll ever choreograph just because I have such a perfectionist mindset that I know not 100% of people are gonna like what I choreograph, and my ego just cannot accept that.
It's crazy. So. Dude, ballet boys and their egos. What the hell, man?
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy. But it's also it's the choreographic process. It's a joint effort between the choreographer and the dancers. It's not all up to the choreographer. I think 8 times out of 10 that I've worked with a choreographer, the choreographer wants you to move like how the choreographer would move, which is it's not that easy. So, and if I choreographed, I would probably do something where I want them to move how I like to move, and I don't want to put that pressure on my dancers.
Right. I got you. Makes sense.
But
I don't have any plans. Like, don't get me wrong, I have no idea what I do, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna beg.
You'll have to send me a video of it.
Yeah, I will. I'll send you Watermelon Man too.
Oh yeah. Okay, so moving on. Do you have like a either scary or most embarrassing story, like on stage or in rehearsal?
In Ballet Met on the second year, Andreas's piece, we did a piece called Concerto for Them, which makes no sense. That's a crazy name, but it's because the piece of the music was called Symphony for Them, and it's like, we're not doing a symphony, so you just changed it to... That doesn't matter. The point is, there is a reoccurring theme step that occurs multiple times throughout the piece. The piece is very long, there's lots of parts, there's lots of different groups. And there's just one step. It goes like, there's like, it's like a développé front, chassé back, piqué passé around, to sauté, balancé, cabriole, balancé. And for one of the times, there is no cabriole. You just do the sauté, balancé, and you go right into the next step. Just once. And in the middle of one of the performances, all the boys come out together to do this part, like 15 of us. And everyone else is on the floor. And I'm a very high jumper. Like, this was I jump really high. Like, not to brag, that's like the one thing I'm good at, is I get off the ground. Somewhere there's a video and someone has a screenshot. Everyone else is like on the ground in plie, and I'm up there in cabriole. And I'm not in the front. I'm not in the center. I'm like backstage right in like a weird awkward position. And I'm just in the air, and everyone else is down there. And I'm in the middle of the cabriole, and I'm looking around. I'm like, why is no one else on the ground? Like, why is no one with me? What? And we get off stage, and there's like, Caleb, what the hell, man? It's really funny. Like, there's no hiding it. But it is what it is. I got right back into it.
No, I know exactly which piece you're talking about because there is a video of it on YouTube. I don't think it's allowed to be on YouTube, but someone's mom put it on there. But let me tell you, this is the all men's piece, right? That Andreas
Yep.
choreographed.
Yeah.
This piece is amazing.
Yeah.
Like it's just so cool seeing like 12 to 14 guys all on stage doing the
Yeah.
same thing. Like that's one of
Yeah.
the best pieces
Mm-hmm.
of rep that I've ever watched in my life.
Yeah. I think there needs to be more core group pieces for men.
Yeah.
I think we need to stop giving all these dudes, solo roles when they suck, and I think we need to force them how to dance in a line.
I
Like,
agree.
I think more people
I
need to do
agree
that.
too.
Like, put 10 boys in a goddamn line and make them do a group piece together.
I agree.
Yeah,
That
that's
I can
good.
and more
understand.
that and more guy on guy partnering.
Yes, that's the other thing too, is because, and I think more guy on guy partnering will also help, like changing the roles that men and women play in partnering, because like right now there's a precedent for like a masculine and a feminine part of the partnering process.
Hmm.
And I think and there's a lot of women that want to play a more masculine role in it. Like there doesn't need to be a delicate side. Both of them can be neutral. And I think the first way to solve that is to just have guys just feed each other around
Yeah.
to create a more neutral precedent for how pause can go.
For sure. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to be the one to do it. Someone else out there can. If any of your artistic directors are watching Joseph's podcast,
Yeah. Hear me out.
hear me out.
Is there a moment on stage or rehearsal that still resonates with you today?
There was in Charlotte Ballet, it was the battle scene. I'm the Rat King, and someone else was playing the Nutcracker. And we're both wearing like the masks. I'm wearing the Rat King head. He was wearing the Nutcracker head, and you cannot see out of it at all.
Hmm.
Like you cannot see out of it. And when the stage lights are on, everything looks blue. And you really just have to go by the markers on stage and muscle memory.
Right.
But you're also surrounded by so many little kids, because there's all the soldiers and there's all the mice. And there's a part where me and the Nutcracker and I run around and we beat on center. And there was just a mouse. Someone's child was not in their spot. They're in my pathway. I can't see. I can see the Nutcracker because he's red, like he's a giant red guy.
Hmm.
And then I know where center is because, I'm good. But I cannot see the mice. Like I can't. Like I don't know where they are.
Right.
And this is on stage, by the way. This is like a show. Like a show. And someone, like their mom is watching their kid being like, Go Jimmy, you've got it. And he does not have it, he's in my way. And I take him out. Like I hear him like audibly like gasp. Like he just got hit by like 173-pound man. Yeah, and I couldn't stop. Like we just finished battle scene. I don't know what happened to him. I know he hit the floor. I don't know how he got up. I don't know. Maybe the other mice had to carry him off. I don't know. I never asked. No one ever said anything about it to me. But and the Nutcracker is even like, dude, like we're talking, we're sword fighting, and we're talking to each other because like it's so muscle memory. He's like, did you just take out a kid? I'm like, yep. That kid is gone.
Was this during a show?
Yeah, this was a performance. This was like fucking like Friday night or something. Yeah, this is a performance.
Oh my god.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh no.
But that I think about that a lot. It resonates.
Nice.
So no one acknowledged that the kid got taken out besides you and the Nutcracker.
Dude, no one talked to me about it. I'm sure, like maybe like the girl that's in charge of like all the academy guys, like maybe told them A, be where you're supposed to be. I don't know. I don't know if like the mom was watching. I don't know how the damage control looked. No one in Ford came up to me and was like, "Hey, watch for the kids." Like no one said that.
Yeah.
It was just I went home and I performed Saturday.
This is my personal opinion, but I don't think you were in the wrong.
No, I was not.
Yeah.
No.
We'll put a poll in
Yeah,
the video being like, was it Caleb's fault?
That's crazy. Nah, the battle scene is crazy. Like the Rat King's entrance is he's sitting on a teacup, like a giant teacup on wheels,
Mhm.
and a mouse pushes him on stage. Except the mouse is one of the Academy kids, and they all weigh half of what I weigh. And like this poor kid is trying to like push me to the right spot and then stop. And the teacup is a heavy thing. It's like a giant wooden teacup that I'm sitting in. And they have to stop it on the right mark so I can jump out on the right mark. Like it is a crazy scene where lots of things can go wrong, and it almost always does. That part was just I was involved in it. It was good. It was fun.
Nice.
I'd do it again. No kids have been in my way since. So I just want to say, like, I sent a message, if nothing else. Yeah. If nothing else, I sent a message.
Are you afraid of not making it in the dance world?
Every day. I wake up, it's the first thing I think about. Every day. I'll be like in Adagio, and I'll be like doing a promenade in Osicone, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. This is not meant for me.
It's a sad reality. Yeah.
YOLO. Yeah. That's what it is. I mean, we all go through it. I'm not special. I'm sure there's people out there that are like, I am amazing. I will make it. You know, there's like prodigies. Like, but it is what it is.
No.
It's good.
So with that being said, what still keeps you dancing or like motivated to this day?
I mean, I don't know. I hate the idea of quitting. Like, I want to just keep going for it. I'm still I haven't stopped improving. I'm still in a process where I feel like I'm improving really quickly, which is good. And I still have the motivation to work hard in class. So I don't feel like I'm justified in quitting, except for like the financial and like, stability argument.
Right.
But until that becomes like a true ultimatum, which it isn't yet. I mean, I love to dance. So I'm sticking with it.
Nice. I'm gonna ask this question because I definitely have like felt this way. But is there a part of you that feels like you've been doing this for so long that like you can't really get out of it, or like that's why you're still doing it? Is just because you've been doing it for so long?
Well, I mean, to be honest, like the time I've spent now is a sunk cost. Like I'll never get it back. If like next week I realize like dance will never work out and I have to just, be a normal human, then it is what it is. And whatever time I've put in so far wouldn't affect that decision. I'll be grateful for the time I've spent becoming who I am now. And outside of just ballet technique, there's a lot to learn from being in the dance world.
Oh yeah, for
There's
sure.
a lot of senses of, discipline and personal responsibility and the ability to learn things quick that us ballet dancers get that a lot of other people don't. Do either of you two work part-time jobs outside of dance?
Yes.
Do you not feel way smarter than everyone else you work with?
I mean, unfortunately, my part-time jobs are teaching dance, so it's like, yeah.
Okay, that's different then. Is that the same for you too, Emma?
My part-time job is like working at the front desk at Sacramento Ballet, so I have no comment. Okay. But they are all wonderful people.
Okay. Well, I'll speak from my experience. I've been in so many part-time jobs in different restaurants. All of my employees, I'm like, you guys are dumb and do not work hard at all. I hate all of them. So there's a lot of strong values, not values, what's the word? Traits that we get from ballet.
Mhm.
And so I definitely won't regret the time I've put into it. So yeah, I mean, it'll always be what's the best thing moving forward. It'll never be how much time I've put in. Like 5 years is nothing, or 6 now. God, I'm old. 6 years. I mean, 6 years will be nothing in the long run. This is what it
Mhm.
is.
Yeah.
I have a friend that went to med school, and her whole interview was about how she's a dancer and how that
Right.
made her better as a student and made her better as a
Right.
person. And so I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of people want to, and I know someone that works at the Capitol here at Sacramento, and a main reason why she got the job was because she was a dancer, and they knew that dancers worked hard and were disciplined.
Right.
So I feel like that's just something that we all learn.
Right. Like it's like at this point, ballet is a very integral part of who I am. So I'll never regret it. Like I'll never regret creating that part of me. I may not pursue it as a career, or I may pursue it and fail. I guess I'm pursuing it now. I may not make it. I may not become successful, but I'll never regret it. And the fact that I put time into it will never, affect my decisions going forward. Like it's just what it is.
I like that response. I think that's a very, very mature way of looking at it. I think most dancers, and even myself, if I didn't make it, I would have just been very bitter and like spiteful of all the time I wasted not making
Yeah.
it. But yeah, I'm glad you see it differently.
Yeah, well, that's good. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Do you have any hobbies outside of dance?
Recently I've been playing a lot of basketball. I have a couple bros who go to the court, we hoop a lot. They're all 6'1", and I'm 5'7", so that's what it is. I like to read. I watch a lot of anime. Like while I'm like doing dishes, I just like have anime going on. I know, Jess, if you watch anime. Do you watch anime, Emma?
No. I should, but I don't.
No, don't. It's for nerds. Don't. It's a
Everyone
rabbit
tells me
hole.
to
It's not
watch
good
it.
for you. Oh, I mean, there's some good ones for sure. They're getting better. Like the fan service is going away. It's getting better. But I don't know. I love chess. Recently, like this last week or two, do you guys know the game Balloons Tower Defense?
Yeah, I do.
So
I
there's a
don't know.
path on the screen, and balloons like just traverse the path. And if the balloons get to the end of the path, you die. So to prevent the balloons from getting to the end, you put down monkeys, and the monkeys pop the balloons. And so there's like ninja monkeys that like throw shurikens. There's like monkeys that fly airplanes and shoot missiles at the balloons. Like it's you're popping balloons with monkeys. And I have been playing that game a lot. It's been my thing. It's been my jam as of late.
Nice.
But I'd say like basketball, and I like to read, listen to a lot of music, like chess. I mean, free time is like, I mean, who even gets that? But when I get it.
Yeah. I know at the beginning of your season, you texted me and you're telling me how you went on these trails with your friends. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So last year, because like I said, I'm in college still and have a part-time job. And so outside of dance, I felt like I spent all of my time really holed up, like in my room studying or taking a nap, like I wasn't ever really outside or doing anything fun. So a couple friends and I kind of went on a resolution that we're just like every weekend we're gonna hike to like a different mountain. And you're like, and so we visited a couple different waterfalls. We went to a lot of different like cliff sides on these beautiful state parks, and it was really good. I recommend it for everyone. As like we got deeper into the season, it became like every other weekend, like every other weekend. So we don't do it as often. And then we also had a really bad hurricane in Charlotte, or tornado. We had a really bad storm, and most of the state parks closed from the damage. And so the last month we haven't gone anywhere, but dude, it's so good. Like, it's so good for you.
Nice.
Joseph, why don't we do that?
You should.
Because like Caleb said, we don't have any free time.
That's
Bro,
true.
you just take like a Saturday, like it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
going once and just like being outside and just walking for like 4 or 5 hours.
Right?
I can't explain it. Like you just have to do it.
Yeah.
Bonus points if the place is pretty. Like we literally like
Exactly.
climbed
Good
a
views.
waterfall. Yeah, like it's all about the vibes, bro. This is what it is.
So you were saying you work a part-time job. Where do you work at right now?
I'm a pizza maker.
Oh,
Mm.
nice.
I work for this New York style pizza shop run by these 2 Italians from New York. And it's like a family owned business, like they're just friends. And I started in the front, like I ran the register, I served food,
Mm-hmm.
but now I work in the back. So I'm laying in the back like fucking tossing the pizzas, frying up the wings, making the pastas. It's fun. Like I really
Promotion.
enjoy it. Yeah. I really enjoy it. It's really fun. It can be really stressful on like a Saturday night when there's like 50 people and they all want a pie. It's like, but like it's good. It's good.
Nice.
It's fun.
What do you think you need to be in order to be successful in this industry?
You have to be really versatile right now. Like Joseph said it, every choreographer just wants you to move like them. And so you need, in an audition setting, to stand out, you have to look the most moldable, like the most versatile. But you also you still have to stand out. So you still have to put some of you in it. So it's the ability to conform to any kind of movement while maintaining like a personality, which is hard. Like in a really weird way, technique doesn't have much to do with getting a job. Like it's a lot about finding out how you move, I'd say, which is some people never get it. Like it's not an easy thing. You can't teach it. But then also like just being disciplined and having good technique also. Like that also is the most important thing. It's being able to,
Right.
hit
Yeah.
fifth at Petit Allegro.
Exactly.
Just crazy. Goddamn
if you could change anything about the dance industry right now, what would you change?
That's such a hard question to answer because like I can say all these changes like pay dancers more, but it's like how? Like you can't just make that change.
Exactly.
I wish there were stronger rules on how the promotion process worked. Like I wish there was a way like you got paid the way to guarantee that if you're performing crucial roles, then you have to get paid for it. I think would solve a lot of like if the company wants you to be doing the shows with them, then you're getting compensated for it, and it's not like just for the experience. I feel like if there's a way that we can, because there's no demand for dancers right now technically, which is why they don't have to pay us because they know that they can get us and we'll work for them without giving us anything. So they're just forced to choose: do we pay them or do we not have them? Then I feel like because it's not like they don't need dancers. Like every company needs a core to do swans. It's just they've all found a way to not pay any of the swans now. So most companies are just like it's an unpaid swans is an unpaid position, which is also why when we talk about like how, because like I was talking about with a friend how like there's all these stories of these prima ballerinas that joined these massive companies when they were like 16, 17. And that was like, they're doing Swan Lake as a company member at 16. And I'm like, you're doing Swan Lake as a company member at 16 in the same position that they did. You're just not paid for it. That's the thing a lot of people don't realize is you're actually, like, even in, like, the 90s, you're exactly where all those other prima ballerinas were when they were 19. Like, you're doing the exact same role with the exact same kind of company. They just got paid for it and you didn't. That's the only difference.
Right, yeah.
So this is a way we can recounter that, and just unpaid labor is crazy. Like it just is.
Yeah.
I mean, we can see that it's not a funding issue because San Francisco Ballet like we saw how their union's going, and they are
Right.
one of the most well-funded
Right.
companies, and they're 80% like unpaid labor. So I feel like that's just
Right.
something that's just
Right.
messed up.
I mean, all the companies managed it for 100 years. Like it's just at some point they got the choice not to, so that's what they went with. Like obviously, if you got to choose between paying your whole core and not paying it, you'll choose to not pay them.
Yeah.
So there needs to be some way to take that choice away, which is ultimately not up to us.
Yeah,
So.
for sure.
But that would be my change if I could so choose. Politicians get free healthcare for life. Did you know that?
No.
Oh, really?
So, fun fact.
maybe I'll become a politician for a year, and then just somehow create legislature to change the ballet world, and then I'll quit, and then I'll help all of you guys, and then also I'll get free healthcare. So it's a
win-win.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
Yeah, that's my new
Good
goal.
plan.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's my plan B to ballet as a politician. That's a crazy take.
All right. Well, if you're watching, vote Caleb whenever he runs.
Make ballet great again.
Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
You need to cut that out anyways. We can't be controversial.
It's true.
No, it's not controversial.
It'll get us views. It'll get us views, bro.
Do we want those kind of views, though?
Yeah, hey, any view is a good view, all right?
Yeah, I don't know if y'all can be picky right now.
That is true.
No offense.
No, you're 100% right for that, though.
Okay. Do you feel like dance is starting to become more like a job, or do you still feel passionate about it?
I'm still passionate about it for sure. But it is starting to feel more like a job, and I think that just transitions as you do more rep and less learning. Like the whole rep process is very like it honestly feels like a 9 to 5. Like it feels like a school assignment. Like you're spending all day learning something, and then you do it, and they're like, "That's not good. You're supposed to be on quarter, Caleb. Do it again." But the passion's still there. I still enjoy doing it.
That's good. That's good. If you could give like younger Caleb or any young dancer any form of advice, what would it be?
It would be to listen better. It would be to it wasn't like I wasn't applying corrections because I thought I was, but I don't think I was doing them to the scale that I needed to be. Like I was always working really hard in like a disciplined sort of way, but it was more like banging my head against a wall just over and over again, like lifting weights. Like I approached ballet like lifting weights, Like the more I lift the weight, the easier it gets, but it really doesn't. So I have taken a step back and maybe just listened a little bit more and tried to work on some more simple like base parts of my technique first and just approach things in a different order, I think.
Gotcha.
And just, been a little bit more intellectual about my approach and just a little bit less trying to grind it out. It doesn't really work like that.
Work harder, not smarter.
Exactly.
Or work smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. Okay.
Keep that in, Joseph.
Yeah, I'll keep that in. I'll keep that in.
Keep it in.
You kind of already talked about it, but what would you do if you never became a ballet dancer?
Well, if I started like from scratch, I really wanted to be an engineer. I really wanted to work with airplanes and become an aerospace engineer. An engineering degree is not something I could have done at the same time as dance. Like that's really, you can't really take an online course for aerospace. So I didn't get to, really do that at all, but I really, really liked aerospace and I liked learning about it. Probably all of high school. So that's what I would have tried to do.
Gotcha.
Probably be like college right now for that.
Hmm.
Nice.
So last question. It kind of relates to the question we just asked, but well, after you're done dancing, what do you think you're gonna do?
I want to get just a corporate white collar job. I want to sit down. I want someone to be like, "Hey, Caleb, where's that report?" And I'll be like, "It's right here." Like I want to just get salaried. I want to
Hmm.
just get a 401k. Sit down at a computer. I do really well with people, and I'm really good at talking, and I'm good at working in groups. So I think that in a corporate
Hmm.
setting, I would have a lot of upward mobility. I think I'd be good in a leadership setting too. So I think there's a lot of room for me there. And like once my body's dead and I can't walk, like I would just sit down and just crunch numbers and just get paid steadily to do it. I think that's the move.
I took an accounting class over the summer,
Mm-hmm.
and I like loved it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
corporate life sounds so fun." And everyone judged me so hard for saying that. So it's like nice to hear that someone else
Yeah.
also finds that interesting.
I mean, it's literally just more school. Like literally exactly what you did in school. There's just no tests.
Hmm.
Mm.
Like there's no tests and there's no teachers. But like it's just like you have an assignment, you do it, you turn it in. If you're good at that, you just get paid. You just get paid to do it now.
Mm.
Like I
Yeah.
mean, and obviously I don't want to sit down now. Like if I was in a cubicle right now, I'd be miserable. But in 10 years, after dancing every day, I think it'd be pretty peaceful. I could do it.
Nice, nice. All
Also,
right.
what are you? Sorry, are you in college classes right now? If you're accounting,
Yeah, I am doing a marketing management, like associate's degree.
hey, that's cool. Because
Mm.
I'm business management, so I also
Yeah,
had to
I want
take the
to.
accounting class.
Yeah, I want to go more into finance though, because marketing is there's no pattern, which bothers
Yeah,
me.
right.
Like everything is different, and so I want to go more to like accounting because there's a pattern, and I like that
Yeah,
it's the
yeah,
same thing and nothing
yeah.
changes.
It's a little more money in finance too. Marketing's a
Yes,
little bit
which
more
is
pay to
nice.
win. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you can like get one of those like dream jobs like in equities or anything, you can make a lot of money in finance.
yeah, private
And
accounting.
banks will never go out of business. Like if you can get a job for like a bank, like you're fine. Like
Hmm.
that
Mm,
is you are set.
yeah, unless another Great Depression happens, but hopefully that doesn't happen.
No, I mean because now the banks get like insurance. Like now it's like impossible.
Yeah.
And even then, ironically, at the end of the Great Depression, the banks were fine. Like the banks that didn't close, the rest of them had the most money at the end of it.
Mm.
But that is what it is.
Nice. All right. Well,
You can.
thank you so much for coming on, Caleb. Like
Yeah.
this so far has been my favorite episode to do, just because
I'm
like
glad.
it's been good catching up with you, but like I just like I love listening to you talk. Like
I just mansplained, dude, for like 2 hours. Like we literally started this 2 hours ago, and I just mansplained. It's crazy.
No, but you're like actually so you're like how old are you? You're 19, right?
Yeah.
I don't have any other friends who are like 2 years younger than me. And I genuinely think you're one of the smartest and most mature like kids like that I've ever met.
I appreciate
Even
that.
back at Ballet Met when you were still 16. I was like 18 at the time. I was like, I love this kid because he's so smart and he's so funny. I just love being around him.
No, I appreciate it. I miss you so much, bro. I think about it.
Yeah.
Like we
But
got it.
I will come up and visit Charlotte to see you and Maya at some point.
Oh, that's great.
But
Sounds good.
I hope you had a good time on on the
Yeah.
show.
No, it was fun.
Yeah, I'm
No,
glad.
you guys were great.
No,
I had a lot of
yeah,
fun.
I knew even when I did this show like 2 years ago, I knew I wanted to have you on, and I'm
Yeah, I just
so
had to
glad.
fit in at some point.
Yeah, I'm so glad I finally got you on. But yeah, again, I've really enjoyed having you on. One more thing,
Yeah.
is there anyone that you would recommend that we should interview next?
Yeah. He was another guy at Ballet Met. He was really good friends with Jordan Shepard. That you and I both met, and he's currently a dancer with Dayton Ballet. but he was in a training program with us, and he's a great personality. And I think he would have a really good perspective on like actually making it as a full legitimate professional just recently, which is something that I can't, So I think that'd be a really unique perspective for him, and he's just a funny dude.
Okay, nice. What's his name?
His name's Cayenne Park. He's like 2 years older than me. I think he might be 21 now.
Okay.
He's also short too. He's jacked. He's insane. You will need to bring a blooper. Like, I hope you can edit. Like, you're not gonna have to cut anything out with that, man. You're gonna have to just edit bleeps in. But it'll be funny. You guys will have a good time with him.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
Nice.
Well, thanks for coming on, Caleb. That's been another episode of Pirouettes and Perspectives with your guest, Caleb Olenek.